welcome back. My name is Shamika, and this is Check the Rhymes. I am super excited that you're here. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all, I'm excited about today's show because I always am. But in the building, I have Amanda Cole. She used to be in the group En Vogue, like around 99 to 2003. She has worked with so many people in the industry, and her covers on YouTube, y'all need to go check that out. But anyway, she's here to talk about the new single, To the Water, that she has with collaborator, pianist Kevin Flournoy. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss today's show. Amanda Cole, welcome to Check the Rhymes. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm loving this pink that you have on.
I thought it may have been a little too much, but it seems to work. So thank you.
It does. I mean, I've got my logo has pink in it. There's a pink painting in the floor. This whole room is pink.
I can pink all day. That is my color. That's my favorite. I love
it. So I'm so excited to chat with you because I was listening to the new single To the Water that you have with Kevin Flournoy. Well, I cannot get his name. I'm gonna get it right. Editor, fix that part. Let me start that sentence over. I am so excited about the single To the Water that you have with your collaborator, pianist Kevin Flournoy. How did this even come about?
Well, a friend of mine on YouTube sent the song to me as a cover request. And he said, you know, Amanda, I heard this song. He was actually friends with the guy who recorded it, Matt Simmons. And the song was recorded in 2007. And he said, Amanda, I could really hear you singing this. You should consider doing this for your YouTube page. And I said, okay, shoot it to me. Now I'm in Walmart, I'm shopping, and I shop with my earbuds. And so I'm like, let me just go ahead and listen to it.
Yeah.
And when I put the song on, I was standing in the aisle and I literally just started crying in the store. So I had to leave my basket, I went to my car, and I listened to the song maybe 3 or 4 times and just bawling out of control. That it really connected me with something that I'd been struggling with for a long time. And my grandmother, she passed from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And during it was a very long fight. And during that fight, she was very strong. She was very strong for us, I think. And on my way to Atlanta to do a show, and she was in the hospital, and I walked into her room and she was crying, and I'm like, Granny, why are you crying? What's wrong? And she's just like, Tracy, I'm tired. I don't want chemo anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to live my life the way that I want to live it and end it the way that I want to end it. She had that choice, and I feel like that was a gift to her.
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't understand it. I was very angry about it because we all want our family to be around. And even in society, you're like, fight for your life, fight for cancer, survivor. And that's a thing, right? And no one really talks about the people who are tired of that struggle. It's like, I want to live my life and just allow whatever happens to happen. And that song really brought it home for me. And I finally understood what she was feeling. I said, I know exactly who needs to do this for me. I need a piano to do because I was just going to do the cover. So to Kevin, I said, Kevin, I need you to hear this song. I need a piano version of it. Kevin sent me back a whole production. It was just like all kinds of stuff.
He can't do something simple. You got to go big.
So I said, oh, okay. And it was beautiful. I mean, it was beautiful. It's not what it is today, for sure. But it was something that I could hear what he was doing, right? And like, this is way too big for a cover. We've got to record this song. And Kevin was on board. He's like, let's record it. But I'm not going to just do, what I gave you. It's got to be big. And when he finished with the music production itself, I was overly with the production because it's exactly what I wanted. I knew that it could facilitate that emotion that I needed to convey the story of this song. And I mean, he came through. He really did. And it took us a bit to get it recorded because I live in Arkansas. He lived in California, and we had to figure out ways to get, the song done. And he would fly here to Haxton Studios. I would fly there. I went to quite a few there in California.
Oh, wow.
and we finally got the song finished, and he sent me the master. I was right back to the beginning, just crying.
Oh.
I mean, the most beautiful song.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to thank Kevin for really seeing the idea that I had and running with it, because it could have been a cover easily.
Right.
To it and just, it could have been what it was, but it turned out to be something that was very special. And I thank Kevin for that. He's really great at bringing the emotion and the beauty to music. That's why I picked him. So yeah.
Well, I thank both of you for that song, because like you, I'm in a grief season now, because my grandfather passed away a year ago, but it was the same situation. He kept saying, I'm tired. And I'm like, no, you got to stay, you got to fight, you got to go to physical therapy, you got to do this, you got to do that. And it was like, he's like, no, I want to go home. And I thought, but I don't want you to go home, because we're selfish. We want them to stay here. So this song gave me a perspective that I didn't, dang it, I'm about to cry now, that I did not have before. So thank you for that. Oh gosh, this has not happened before.
And music, it's important to have music like that, because I don't think there's a lot of music that really deals with death and dying.
Right.
I lost my father, and unfortunately, he didn't have the gift of time. He was taken very quickly.
Yeah.
And he wasn't able to say goodbye. He wasn't able to, put things in order. My grandmother had that gift.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it as a gift at the time. I was keep fighting, right?
Right.
And she was, she was still very vibrant. She was still very alive. But, it's up to them. It's her choice. The way she lived was her choice, and the way she wanted to go was her choice.
Exactly.
All the things she wanted to do. And she died very peacefully. And it was very beautiful. So, I love that song.
Yeah, I do too. I even thought, like, really literally before this interview, I thought, am I going to get through this without trying to shed a tear? Because this song, I think this is one that when I'm in one of my grief modes, it's one I'm going to go to. So I thank you for that, because there are quite a few people in my circle that are dealing with this. And I'm like, listen to this song, because that provides another perspective.
I'll have to deal with it at some point,
Yeah.
Even so I just wish that there were more of those songs to help us connect to that to help with that grieving process.
Right. Because music heals. And I know for me, music has played a huge part. And, some days I think I'm part of a church choir in here and I can't sing worth a lick. But it makes me feel better.
And that's what it's meant to do. It's meant to heal you. It's meant to help you to reflect. Meant to, bring you out of the dumps, and even put you in the dumps sometimes.
Right.
That's what music is for. And I'm hoping that culturally we can get back to having music connect us in that way. That is my goal. And I think that's what Kevin is aspiring to do as well. Connect us together through music again, because that's what we used to, what connect us. It even used to speak to the times, like during war times, we would write these songs about, come together and all those things. And I really wish that we had music that spoke to this time, because we're struggling here, we wrote a song. He actually gave me an instrumental with the instrumental to the water that I wrote to, called Hold On. And it was during COVID, and it was around the time of January 6th. And it's a song that speaks to what we're going through today. It is kind of gospel. I don't really sing gospel.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of crazy. I was like, why are you singing this, man? I don't sing like this, man. I can't do that. I can't riff like Fantasia. You got to flat, He's like, come on, Amanda. And that's what I love about him. He pushes me. He's like, come on. And even with my covers, I produce my own covers. I do all those things myself. So I have the freedom to do it the way I want to do it.
Yeah, I love that.
To be in the studio with a producer who is so connected, I had to trust Kevin with what he felt would be best for, because I would take the song and I shoot it out. I would take it, right? But with To the Water especially, there was a level that you had to maintain in order to maintain the emotion of it.
Yeah.
You do a whole lot of peaks and valleys. You take people out of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that I learned in the studio with him, being a very controlled artist. And I trusted myself as well. I added some elements too,
Mm-hmm.
but artists have to really trust the producers who are doing the music, because they're the ones that, they're the experts.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and he's a few that I trust with that, because like I said, I produce myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a writer myself. So yeah, I trust him because he's proven. He's proven.
Yeah. Well, so will this song, I know it's going to be on his upcoming debut album, Versatility, but will it be on your upcoming project as well?
Well, we're writing for the project, and I'm hoping that it will be. I really want it to be, but I'm still thinking about the concept, how I want to present myself and my music. I'm not really sure if that will be in line with what I'm trying to do. I want everything to be as cohesive as possible.
Right.
And I still have to have that, that thing that people, you can't just be the sad lady all the time,
right?
So
exactly. Yeah, you don't want people to put you in a box.
Exactly, right. And the most of the music that I do outside of covers is just very inspirational music.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people get that confused with being Christian or religious or something, but I'm not. I don't do Christian music. I don't do religious music. It's inspirational music. It's music that helps to bring us, closer to our hearts, closer together. And I do want my project to reflect that. But I do want to get into like the Whitney stuff, the Luther stuff, Regina Baker, bring back some of that old stuff that used to be, our parents dancing in the living room.
Yes.
I want to bring that stuff back. I think it's important that we revisit that.
I do too.
I'm going to try to do. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. So speaking of, you were talking about some of your covers, your rendition of Whitney Houston's I Have Nothing. Millions of views. Did you expect it to take off like that?
No. And when I first put it out, it sat at about 50,000 for a year. About a year.
Oh, I'm sorry, 50,000.
And someone on Facebook, I think a famous person on Facebook posted it. And like the next day, my phone was like, ding, 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 ding,
wow.
ding. You're trending. I was like, what is happening? And at the end of the day, on Facebook, that cover accumulated maybe 82 million views.
Wow.
And that's how I met Kevin, through that. So yeah. And the funny thing is, when I do covers, I record them live. So it's all done direct. And I was in my garage trying to get the perfect take, right?
Right.
Like, you know what? You've done this thing like 4 times. I'm going here, make me a sandwich. You do what you want to do while I'm in there. So what I did, I turned on the camera, and I just did it, right?
Yeah.
And I was kind of crazy, just being crazy with it. But it was a good vocal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to keep the vocal, but I want to dump the video. But he was like, just put it out. Don't even just put it out. And yeah, that's what I did. I just put it out. So
wow. I love stories like that, because I think sometimes creators and even artists, they get discouraged if their video isn't moving past a certain mark, and then they walk away from it, and then who knows, all it takes is one person to post it or share it, and then it just spirals. And I love when that happens.
But my motivation with singing and covers in general is, it's not numbers. It's not, popularity or trying to garner any type of recognition. I do it partly because it's a part of my grief process.
Yeah.
Especially during that time. I just do it because I love it. I love to do it. And if it touches one person, if I get one view, hey, it's successful, right? I'm a success. I don't look at view counts. I don't look at that stuff. I just put out what I love and hope that it will connect with someone, because most of my covers, people don't even know. It's a lot of those songs people have never heard.
Right.
So it's not about doing what's popular or doing what's going to do a lot of this or that. It's just doing the music that's honest for me. Yeah. Where I can, convey the emotion that needs to be conveyed and tell the story that needs to be told. That's how I pick music, and that's how I want to sing it. So I'm not motivated by numbers. I'm not motivated by that stuff. So it's not at 50. I wasn't tripping. I was happy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Right. See, and I love that because I think when I first started my YouTube channel, I was very focused on numbers to the point where when you keep watching it, it ain't gonna move. So I had to step back and think, let me just do what I'm doing because I love it. And I don't care if it gets monetized. I don't care if anybody watches it. Like you said, if one watches, I'm good because then they learn something or they learn something new or found a new artist that they love. Yeah, so I love that. Let's revisit what you just mentioned though. You said this was a part of your grief process. Like, I'm trying to think of how to word it, but how did you figure that this is going to help me through my grief? Like, how did you decide that this was going to help you with actually moving through the grief process? Or was it just something that you're like, I love this and I'm just going to keep focusing on this? And
no, I had quit singing. I wasn't singing. And once I left En Vogue, I stopped singing completely. I was a stay-at-home mom for nearly like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Then my dad was my biggest fan. And I mean, every time we talked, he's like, when are you going to start singing again? When are you going to start? I'm like, Dad, I'm done with it. I'm not singing. I don't want to do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When he retired, I was at home. We would talk every day. Like the year before he died, every day we would talk. And every day he would say, you going to sing me a song? You're going to sing me a song? I'm like, Dad, I don't sing anymore. I don't want to do it. When he died, the grief was so, I'm telling you, I can't describe it. It was like my DNA changed. I was a different person. Like on a cellular level, I was different.
Yeah.
It was very difficult to control that. It was very difficult to handle that because I was in a space I had never been in before. And it was very heavy. So it started to affect everything around me. My mental health was it just took a very bad turn. I missed him so, and because he was taken so quickly, it was an incredible loss for me. And I didn't know how to handle it. And I started to write music. I wasn't singing, I was writing. And I was writing with CSP Music Group. Shout out to Chris, CSP, the best. If you want to be a singer, songwriter, Chris is the best. Atlanta, right? So he gave me that space to write. But he also started to push me to sing. He's like, you really need to sing. Because I would demo my songs. And he's like, you really need to sing. I'm like, I don't want to. And all the songs that I demoed, he still had. He's like, I got an MP. I have an EP ready to release because it was really good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I just don't want to venture into singing. But then I heard Tamar Braxton, right? She did Love and War. And I was sitting there and I was like, I think I might want to sing this song.
I love it.
I gotta sing this. Okay. So, and since Whitney, I had not been inspired to really sing much of anything because, music had really changed since the 90s. I mean, R&B pop was gone. There was really no one really doing that kind of music. Right. And when he did that song, I was like, let me see. So I sang it. I sat like in a corner because I was just getting back into it. Right. Singing it. And my daughter came in and said, you should record that. And I was like, record it how? She's like, let me show you YouTube. Let me show you YouTube. And all these people were recording, singing, and all that, but I didn't have a camera. I was woefully unprepared. Mama, you can just sit on this right there and just sing it, and I'll just record it on this phone, and we can just post it with a picture. Let's do it. So I sat there and I sung it, and she posted it. 5,000 views. I was like, yeah. And then I did another one. I think I did Melanie Fiona. That one did okay. And I'm like, people are really looking at this stuff. This is crazy. Your voice is so great. And I was like, okay, maybe I should really do
We love good vocals.
But the thing is, it was a different voice. Yeah. The voice that was with En Vogue, it wasn't the voice that I had in the beginning of my career. Something very different. It was meatier. It was sadder. Yeah. Different. There was something else that I had to get used to. And when I did Titanium, I felt it. I'm like, this voice is a different voice. This is something. And then when I did the Whitney song, because I loved Whitney, I'd worked with her. I loved her so much. Yeah. I was so afraid to do it. But I said, you know what? My dad loved her too. And I'm going to do this song because he really loved Whitney Houston. And I did it. And I'm like, okay, I like it. Let's do all the things.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I just started putting stuff out, So
Yeah.
how it started. And
It's amazing how, like you said, grief changes you. I'm still in that phase of who am I? What do I do? Like you stopped singing. I stopped doing interviews for a while until people were like, where are you? What are you doing? Like, get off the couch, get back to doing what you love.
Right.
But I feel like now it's a different, I see things from a different lens now. Yeah, so I totally can relate to what you were saying, and my condolences to you. Because
my dad passed in 2010, and I talk to him every day, still to this day.
Yeah,
mother passed just 2 years after him, so it was very close. It was
yeah,
it was a tough time, and like I said, it changed me, but it changed me for the better because I'm sitting here talking to you because of that transformation.
Right.
And I thank God that I was brought through that, because a lot of people, grief can take you out. It really can.
Yes.
And I was very blessed to have people around me that supported me and understood what I was going through and was very patient with what I was going through. And then I was allowed to use my voice to kind of get all of that to you guys.
Yes, you about to make me cry over here. Like, yes, there's hope at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel of the grief. Like, but I love how it transformed you for the better. That's what I really, really love.
Yeah.
He's
always here. I was talking about my dad last night. He's always here. I really think, I wish that he could have been here to see. I think a lot more. I think I would have accepted a lot more of the opportunity. Right. But I think he'd be pretty happy. I think he'd be pretty proud.
I think so too. You mentioned En Vogue, and if you totally don't want to talk about that, that's fine. But I just was curious because I don't know the reason that why you did leave the group.
The reason why I really don't talk about the group or bring the group up is because when I got into that group, those girls had already worked so very hard to create that brand, to create something that was, to me, very transformative in our culture, right? That was already established. I just came in to help. I was help. And I knew Terry and I knew Tommy and Denny because I'd worked with them before, and Terry and I were good friends. So I didn't feel like, I just felt it was very disingenuous to try to use their name to try to whatever it is that I'm trying to do it, because it doesn't belong to me. Those girls worked very hard for that. And I wanted to respect the fact that it belongs to them. Right. But it was a great time. They were very gracious to share the stage with me. They were very gracious to share that brand with me. I was the very first, so I was like the guinea pig of the group. Of the whole thing. So I got a lot of flack from fans because people were devastated. Yeah. When they saw a new face, they're like, what's going on? Right. Where's my group? Right. And I got a lot of, a lot of hate. But eventually, I was there for maybe 4 or 5 years. So eventually it started to come around and they were like, okay, well, this is what it is. Yeah. So, and it was a fun time. I had a great time. They're wonderful people. They're really great. Tommy and Denny were very instrumental in how I produced today, because they allowed me to produce some stuff, to write some stuff. So they were very open. It was a really, really good experience, especially for my first time being in that type of humongous opportunity. It was really great. But I decided towards the end that the industry was just something that I was not comfortable with. Just the things that I had to sacrifice, the things that I had to do in order to be a part of that. It just was something that I was willing to do. And it had nothing to do with them. Like I said, they were always so gracious and wonderful to me. But just the business aspect of it was not something that I could really, I just couldn't. You know how it is. Oh, yeah. And
you know what? You're not the first one that has said that I've spoken to. I've talked to a couple of artists that left the business for years, and they're just now getting back into it now that they can be independent and do it themselves. But I don't think people realize that. And then you pile on that if whatever fans are saying, whether it's, behind a keyboard or in your face or wherever it is, even the mental health aspect has to be rough, because
I was very young. I was a kid, right? And I was into this. My first show was in Amsterdam. Donna Summer was a headliner. Like 20,000, 25,000 people. I'd never been on a stage that huge before.
Mm-hmm.
It was not just nerve-wracking. It's like, I cannot let these girls down. They have this huge, fan base, this brand that is so amazing, that is so impactful. I have to really step up. And that was the fun part, because they helped me. They were integral in helping me be, what I needed to be on stage. But off stage with the business aspect, and just a lot of, outside things. Yeah. I was not comfortable. And being that I was young, I did have the presence of mind to say, Amanda, you can continue, not disappoint everybody, because, everybody was excited that I was in the group. Yeah. Or you can choose yourself, choose you. And after that, God has never disappointed you or let you down. You will always be where you need to be.
Woo, yes, yes.
And so I had to pray about it. I did. And eventually I said, I need to just trust that something else is going to be there for me. And that's what I had to do. So it wasn't anything salacious. It wasn't anything crazy. We weren't fighting and pulling each other's hair. No, it was nothing like that. It was just the decision I had to make for myself. Okay, how I moved through the industry, how I wanted to move through my life, really. So, that was all. Yeah,
I think people, because when I was looking it up last night, it was, people in these I guess these forums just making assumptions. And I was like, no, I've never heard anything bad about the time you were there. Like, never. All they can do is assume. So that's why I was like, I asked.
I was friends before I got into the group. So we were hanging out. We hung out in the Bay Area, all at her house. We go get chai lattes, soy chai lattes every day. Yeah. So this is before I even got into the group. So friends. And I feel for them. I'm so excited for the road that they're on now. Rona Bennett is one of the most incredible ladies. The lady, she has a single out now called We. She is an inspirational speaker, just a beautiful person, and she fits with them perfectly. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So I think everything worked out the way that it needs to work out, and like I said, what's meant for me will always find me. Exactly. So, it worked.
Yeah. Do you still keep in touch with them now? Or
we're friends on Facebook. I actually met Maxine for the first time after I was out of the group in Atlanta, doing a show with Chris Starr, the guy I was riding with. Yeah. And he came to my show, and it was just like, I'm telling you, these are the most gracious women.
I love that.
Beautiful hearted people, So I met her. I didn't have the fortune of meeting Dawn. I've never met her, but I've only heard really great things about her. Yeah. I wasn't surrounded by the negative aspect of whatever these people think was happening. Right. I was in it. Yeah. So I didn't see that. Right. I know my experience with them was very different than my experience with the industry. So it was different.
Yeah. Now, in addition to performing and singing and all the things, producing, you're also a vocal instructor.
I am.
So can you talk a little bit about that?
I've never had a job in my whole life. I've only been a singer. So I've just been looking at the state of music and where our kids are, and how I'm finding that most children aren't really trying to cultivate a talent. I'm not really seeing kids, wanting to work hard enough to be like a Whitney, or work hard enough to be like a Michael or a Prince, or we're not really cultivating that type of talent. It's all auto-tune if I can't hit the note, or it's the computer if I can't get the rhythm. I said, the only way that I can impact the future in a way that is going to be personal is if I teach. So
Yeah.
I started teaching kids. I've got about 30 kids that I teach. And I tell you, every day, I learn something new every day. And they are like sponges, and they are willing to really work, because I'm not an easy teacher, because I love music so much.
Yeah.
And I believe in the future of music so much that I'm not going to let you put your name on me and send you out there sounding crazy. So they do work hard, but I have some extraordinarily talented kids. Yeah, it's exciting. I love my job. I love it. Yeah, it's great.
I always love hearing when people love their jobs, because, and especially when you're passionate about it, like you are. It just, like, even as you're talking, you're just glowing talking about it, and so.
I love it. I was just there yesterday, and one of my kids were like, "Oh, I heard that you released a single. Oh, Miss Amanda, it sounds so great." I was like, "Thank you." She's like, "I want to be just like you." I'm like, I'm gonna make sure you're there. I'm gonna get you. I promise you. You just keep doing what I tell you to do. You're gonna
that part.
It's very rewarding. It is. I love it. Love it.
Now, did you? And I don't have the bio in front of me, but I wrote down, ask her about Michael Jackson.
Ask me about him. Let me tell you. So when I was in En Vogue, we were in a rehearsal studio, and they were friends with Michael. So Terry and Cindy were really good friends with him. They're like, he's down there. And I was like, and we took a break. And I'm like, I'm going to go down and try to see if I can get inside the little thing. And of course you can't, because there's so many, it's a lot of security and stuff. But I think one of the guards saw me come out of one of the rehearsal halls, and I stood there for a minute, and when someone opened the door, I just slid in and was standing by the wall. And one of his people came over and was like, "Can I help you? What are you doing here?" I was like, "Oh, I just came in to see Michael. I'm with En Vogue. I'm one of the new members of En Vogue, and I just wanted to come in and see Michael." And then he came over, and he was like, "Who are you?" I said, "My name is Amanda. I'm with En Vogue. You don't remember me, do you?" He was like, "No, but I do know En Vogue. They're really great." He glowing.
Oh.
I said, "Well, I did sing with you one time on stage when I was very young. I did. I Just Can't Stop Loving You. I replaced one of your singers because she got sick, and it was like I had 4 hours to get ready, and we did share." He's like, "Yeah, I don't remember that, but it was nice meeting you. Okay, bye."
He could have faked it and said he did.
But yeah, that was crazy. Gary Reeves called me and said, "Amanda, can you come? Michael Jackson's singers out. They need somebody to sing." And I was like, "I can do it." I had this ugly dress on. I did not meet him during sound check. I only sang with him on the show, during the show. Wow. After the show, I was escorted off the stage, put in the car, shipped right on back to where I came from. So,
oh my gosh, we always think when we would see Michael singing, the duet, we would think like, oh, I bet they just have such a fun time backstage together, or there's a connection there.
No, there was nothing. No. So he was like, "No, I don't remember that," but he was very gracious, very nice, very.
Oh,
it was nerve-wracking. It was nerve-wracking.
I'm sure. Oh my gosh, yes, I had to know what he was like.
Very nice, of course. Very quiet. But he was like, "Who is this girl sitting in here? I'm trying to work. Who is this person? She's strange. Get her out." So, it was good.
I love it.
It was fun.
Well, do you have any advice for people that we were talking about people on TikTok earlier before we hopped on here to do the interview, but I see so many people that they can sing on TikTok, right? Do you have any advice for those people that maybe aren't sure how to go from social media to actually moving their career along?
Well, I can tell you what a friend of mine told me, that a producer that I have loved since I was very young told them, David Foster told them, everybody talks about ambition. Everybody talks about drive being the key.
Yeah.
The key is networking. It is always who you know. And like he said, their streets are lined with singers who are phenomenal singers that no one will ever hear, because nobody knows you. You have to, it's who you know. So network, get in there, meet people, so people can say, "Oh, I know this person." That's what happened with me.
Yeah.
I was working with Tommy and Denny on this group called Premiere. I was doing background vocals for them.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Reeves, the guy who introduced me to them, he was working with, it's just like all these, and then I was with En Vogue, and then I was with it's networking. It's who you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have ambition. That's beautiful. Commitment is fantastic. But you've got to get yourself out there. You've got to start meeting people, creating relationships with people, so they can recommend you to other people. And then you start to, you'll get to where you need to go. You'll meet the people you need to meet to be where you need to be. Because you can't get there. I can't get here sitting here in Arkansas. I mean, you got to know people. It's networking. Yeah. That's what I'm telling you. Get out and network. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that applies actually to any industry. You got to network because, that's just the way of the world now. You have to network so people know who you are, so they can refer you to this person, this person, this person. So
never know who knows that person, right? Because the song that we did, To the Water, Matt Simmons works with David Foster. So it's like, there's always someone. And then Ramon is Matt's friend, Matt's his friend. So there's always someone who is in proximity to the people that you want to get close to.
Right.
So just, be gracious, be humble, but work.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I have loved chatting with you. Let everybody know where they can find you, whether it's Facebook or if you have a website or YouTube. Where can we find Amanda Cole?
YouTube, please, Amanda Cole. I'm 200 away from 100,000, guys.
Help her reach her goal.
So Amanda Cole on YouTube. I'm at the Amanda Cole on Instagram and also on TikTok at the Amanda Cole. So that is all my social media.
Yeah, well, you'll have to come back when you release your full project, because I would love to go through that project with you and talk about all the songs and everything, because I can't wait to see what's going to be on there.
Love that. Yes, I would love that.
Well, thank you again, Amanda, for joining me today on Check the Rhymes.
Thank you for having me. It was so enjoyable. Thank you.